PhDs on the panel. I have a PhD, not a JD, so I refer to
So I have a question for you, Dr. Engel, while you have the PhD at Newport University while he's reading that. Because I just see a lot of correlation with the what you're saying about retention and the recruitment going on with this department, like the actual UCPD and the CPD, but also here at the institution. Ray Tinsing was a graduate from this institution, from the criminal justice department. So when we're talking about the relationship there, maybe something that we should look at as well, something that I would think I would look at, just from the academic perspective, is what we're teaching here, and like as far as social justice and things like that, and just also what we're requiring the criminal justice to take, what courses they can take to kind of slide through that system, because if you can still hold those implicit, explicit, whatever type of biases that you held and graduate from this university, that seems like something that should be correlated as far as the relationship building aspect.
I'll speak to that directly while the JDs consult, right? All the attorneys consult. So in the School of Criminal Justice, we have over 800 undergraduate majors, and we're the, I think, second or third largest major on campus. I cannot guarantee to you that all 800 of those folks are good people. I can't guarantee to you that they don't have racial bias. And I also cannot guarantee that any class that they take, if they did have racial bias, that we'd be able to turn that around. I do know that the curriculum that we provide is a strong curriculum. I know that our department is ranked #3 in the country in criminal justice and #1 in research. And I'll further say that maybe I'm a little defensive because I used to teach the Intro to Criminal Justice class. This is my first fall that I haven't taught this class. I get 200 freshmen, and I love to teach it, and I actually ask to teach it every year because I want to have that opportunity to mold the, the would-be criminal justice majors and get them interested in issues like social justice, like the things that you're talking about, so that we can, some of those majors are going to go on into law enforcement, they're going to go on to be attorneys, they're going to go on into the criminal justice system, but others are going to be advocates, or they're going to work in child services or other places, and I want them to have a really well-rounded experience in that first intro class. And so from there, they can use that as a base to the other classes that are out there. And I do think we do a good job at that. I never had Ray Tenzing in class. And I don't know any professors that did specifically or that they remember him specifically. But there's 800 undergrad majors every year. We do the best we can.
Sure. I was thinking of the idea I'm getting, and this was the question. The duty to provide public services is owed to the public at large, and absent a special relationship between the police and the individual, no specific legal duty exists. What type of special relationship is required to hold the legal duty to service and the public? That's kind of what I was thinking. As police officers and law enforcement, our job is to protect society, protect the citizens. However, let's say I'm not there on the street that day and you're attacked. I think what this is saying is that you can't come back and sue me then and say, well, your duty was to protect me and I was attacked and you did not protect me. So we understand, generally, as an individual, police officers can't be held liable for everything that happens. I think a special relationship or a legal duty would arise in a situation where I've come and I've stopped you and I've detained you and I've put you in the back of my police car. I now have a legal duty to protect you because you can't protect yourself anymore. So I think if the police put you in a situation where you cannot protect yourself or take care of yourself, or let's say I promise to be at your house at this time, or we will be outside your house and then I don't do it, I drive to the coffee shop or something. I don't drink coffee, but if I drive to the coffee shop and I'm not there when I said I would, at that point I think I do have that special duty. But barring me taking you into custody or putting you in a situation, also be at a jail. Obviously you can't protect yourself in jail anymore. You can't provide food for yourself, you can't provide medical care for yourself. that point there, you create a special duty.
I'm the one that asked the question. That case specifically, I'll give a little background to it. This case, two men broke into a townhouse. They began to rape a woman on the first floor. There's two roommates on the second floor. These women called the police. The police said we're going to be there. That call received at 6:23 a.m. 3 officers arrive and they leave the scene by 6:33 a.m. At 6:42 a.m., the two ladies that are above in the townhouse hear the rape continuing. They call the police back. The police promise they're on their way. They go down to inform the rapists, hey, the police are coming. The two men take these two women, put them in. Now all three women are continuously and consecutively raped for 14 hours. The police never responded. The women sue the PD for negligence, and the final decision of the court is not guilty for the reason listed there. There's no special relationship, even though they acted upon the promise of the police to be there. There's also cases of Lynch versus North Carolina Department of Justice, and also Castle Rock versus Gonzalez. And continuously throughout these Supreme Court cases, you hear that the duty of the officer is not to protect the public, but to enforce code. And I'm going back to the original question, what is the relationship needed for the common person to call 911 and expect the support of the police that we're grown up and taught that we should have?
And I'll add to that, most importantly here at UC, what's the protocol, I guess, like that, stemming from that, what's the relationship for UC students to call UCPD, especially Black students? Just kind of adding to that.
Well, for UCPD, we're going to respond to any call for service that we receive. We're going to treat everybody fairly, equally, and impartially. If that doesn't happen, then I want to know about it. Our professional standards unit wants to know that. And because we have policies and procedures, if we're going to follow, we're going to make sure that that's what's being done. That's obviously a tragic case, and something I'm sure that any of us up here would, you can't defend that. Certainly, anytime we know that there's a crime in progress, that's a very high importance call. I mean, we want to get there. We want to take action. We want to protect the public. That's what we signed up for. That's our job. That's the so yeah, it's hard to explain or justify on the facts that are there. But speaking, to your question, our department, we want to have a very good response, and we want to have the relationship that needs to exist that fosters the trust and communication that we know needs to be there.
And I think the point of this case and cases like this, can you imagine every time someone called the police and police didn't get there fast enough, or something happened and they were delayed, and someone was hurt or injured, the claim would be, you had a duty to protect me, I called you, you didn't get here on time, and then I was injured in some way. And I think that's what the purpose of this case, in cases similar to that, is that would be an extreme burden on the government and the police department if they had to pay out on claims like that every time an officer was unable to get there for whatever reason it may be, legitimate or non-legitimate.
Why do previous charges and
Yeah.
misdemeanors?
I have a question for Mr. Jones.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, why do you think it was okay for the PERB to, he thought it was all right to take Sam Boy's life?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I was wondering, why do you think the PERB thought it was okay to take Sam Boy's life?
Why did I think the perp think it was okay?
Yeah.
You're talking about Tenzing?
Yes.
I'm not gonna comment on that, that's a criminal investigation that's ongoing.
Next question. Why do previous charges